Hey everyone, happy Saturday. If you're new here, hey, my name's Teresa. I do a lot of channel. This one's a little bit different, so if you liked it, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I almost said subscribe. Not quite there yet. If you want to subscribe down below, let's just get into this video. So I thought I would talk today about my reasons for not wanting children. Now, there's 5 reasons, and I would say like the first top 2 reasons are probably the ones that are actually like rated. So the main one is definitely probably the main one. The second one is definitely like that second huge one. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, I have been in childcare for 11 years. I started when I was 12, babysitting and then working at daycares when I was old enough to have a part-time job and then doing nannying as well. So, I've never really gotten the chance to live a life without kids to say. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. So I have a list here, and the first thing is my sexuality. So if you guys don't know, I am a lesbian, and kids are expensive as is. As a lesbian, no matter how you decide to create your family, you will have to pay. So in the case of carrying a child, if you go through the route of IVF or some other way to carry a child, you will have to go through a second parent adoption. So, what does that mean? So, second parent adoption means that in a lesbian relationship, the other mother who is not carrying the child does not have automatic rights to the child. Okay. So, a lot of couples tend to go through second parent adoption because then the second mother will have automatic rights into with the child. Now, it varies state from state depending how things are labeled as like biological mom because I do know a lesbian couple on here, Sam and Alyssa. Their youngest one is Wilder, and he actually is Alyssa's egg, but Sam actually carried him. So in that case, Alyssa is the one who's the biological mom. So she already has all the like rights to him because she is seen as the biological mom. Um, and so then Sam just went through the second parent adoption. So I personally would not be okay with not going through the second parent adoption if I had a child or children with my wife. I just wouldn't feel right about that because then what that means is you cannot make, as the one who is not the biological mother, who does not have the second parent adoption, you cannot make any legal decisions about your kids, period. They won't let you into the hospital room, etc. So, yeah, let me make sure I explained all of that. Yes, and I just know from my own health and well-being, I don't think it's the best option. So that is definitely my top reason is just my sexuality complicates it a bit more. So the next thing is the fact that I have been in childcare for 11 years. I have helped raise kids since I was a kid myself. Like I said, I started when I was 12 and I'm 24 right now. All I've done is help raise kids and be the entertainer for kids. So, as you guys probably know, like I am so burnt out from being the main provider and the entertainer for kids. I cannot entertain a child day in and day out for 24/7 and have a kid be like, play with me, play with me. Meanwhile, there is chores that need to be done and bills that need to be paid and all the other stuff that just comes with life. I could not do that. I also know that I would not be able to take care of myself. And I am a very, very firm believer that you cannot take care of another human being unless you take care of yourself. I had my nephew over a couple weeks ago, right before, like 3 days before his birthday. And I was hanging out with him. I didn't know when he was going to be picked up. There was just a whole situation that was unpredictable at that time. And so I had to also make cupcakes for my dad's birthday, and I had to find time to do that while I had my nephew over. And I couldn't even eat when he was over either. Like, I barely had time to make the cupcakes. Luckily, my mom and dad, right before they left, entertained him for a while so I could get the cupcakes at least in the oven. Um, and yeah, and then it was lunchtime and I tried to offer him food. He wasn't hungry. And gosh darn, there are some kids that are like, I'm not hungry. I just want you to play with me. And it's like, no, I need to eat in order for me to actually play with you. So that's really hard. Obviously, that happens. There are just times where they're really needy and you can't even take a breath. And I don't want to give that up. I honestly have learned to be a homebody and like my alone time. And so, yeah. Um and I cannot imagine. I have a family whose child is now in school. He would have just started. Oh my god, he would have just started kindergarten this year. And when he was younger, he was just go, 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 go all the time. Like there was no stopping him. It really sucked in the way that there was no like quiet time that was like required for him because he just go, 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 go. Like I couldn't even make the other two girls like and myself and him dinner because he just like was constantly needing me and I can't do that. Like I don't have energy for that. I'm not 12 anymore. So nope. And because of my childcare experience, uh, I feel like I would not be missing out on anything. I mean, really, with childcare, I feel like the only thing that I really truly missed out on was probably not getting any sleep. But I mean, why would somebody want to miss out on that? So, and that's another thing. I really like sleeping. And for me personally, like, I need about 6 hours is pushing it, but I really do need that 7.5 hours to actually function like a human being. So, and to wrap this up, if I don't get fed, if I don't sleep, like I would be taking out my frustrations on a child, and that's absolutely not fair. So, that is reason number two. So, one, sexuality, two, just childcare in general. So, 3, get to put my energy into the kids in my life who I want to put energy into. So, you guys don't know this, but I am actually an aunt to my best friend's kid. And because we are a chosen family, it is the role that I chose to take on. Um, I have no problems being the fun aunt to my friends' kids. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. I want to have a part in their life, but I definitely do not want the parent part of their life, you know? So, I fully care about my other friend's two kids as well and her teenage sister. I let's see, I care about how they are doing in school, how their activities are going, their well-being physically and mentally, and etc. And the same thing can be said for my other friend who has 3 kids as well. I mean, I view them as like my younger siblings. And then my friends' kids are just like my friends' kids. And because the parents are close to me, I'm close to them, sort of thing. But then I'm an aunt to my best friend's kid. So yeah, I get to check in on them and hang out with them whenever I want, whenever obviously works best for us. Can't just really just show up to their house. I mean, they would love it, the kids, but the parents might question it a little bit. And then I can just go home and not deal with them 24/7, you know? I do have one of I think I still have her number. One of the kids that I babysit, like her number, and I tried to do like birthday texts to her and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, really, with each of these families, I want to be the best aunt and role model for these kids as I possibly can be. And especially the aunt one. Like, I really do want to be the best aunt that I can be, but I feel like having a child would definitely hinder that. So, yeah. And I love having the title, I guess you could say, the title of auntie. I really do love that. So, that's number 3. So, number 4 are my parents are old. So, at the time of writing this, because I have a document on my computer, my mom is 61, struggling to just walk, which everybody notices. She has a limp to her. And my dad is 63. So I think he might be 62, but I think they're 2 years apart if I remember correctly. I never remember my parents' age. They're old to me. So, um at this point, my mom would not be able to physically meet the demands of having a grandchild. There is no way she'd be able to run after a child or bend over and get something or squat if needed. This is the thing nobody tells you about kids is having kids, being a childcare provider is a very, very physical, and nobody acknowledges it, nobody says it, but it is because you're constantly having to squat to pick something up or bend over, because you forget that squatting is probably the safer way to go. You're picking up kids, and I can't tell you how many muscle spasms I have gotten or like sprained a muscle because I was dealing with a kid. I actually have I went to the doctor yesterday and I have sprained like right here, because I was hanging out with a kid a week ago and she was, she's 3, she's heavier, as a normal 3-year-old is, compared to a 2 and 1-year old. And she was just crawling all up on me and I was picking her up because she's still like my little French fry, I call her. And totally just ended up spraining myself, which is nothing new. So yeah, it's very physical. Nobody talks about that stuff. Once the kid is probably old enough to be like self-sufficient, I she's I think that that would be okay at that point to have my parents watch my kids. But yeah, and with my mom, very much just old school. You don't really go to the doctor unless you're like basically dying, sort of thing. She isn't going to s- do anything about her inability to walk. People ask her all the time what the doctor would do, and she says they wouldn't do anything. And immediately, like, there's no hesitation. She just goes, they wouldn't do anything. And I'm like, seriously? Like, we have the same doctor, and I know that if you would just talk to her and bring it up, she'd have an answer for you. So she would give you options. So that's annoying. But anyways, um, let's see. I wrote something in here about my dad. Where is it? Oh, and then I can bet like $5 that my mom has never brought it up to our doctor. Anyways, my dad will continue to age and might have other health problems come up. If I had a child or children, I'd love to save money by having my parents watch them the way that my grandparents watched me and my siblings. So when my siblings and I were younger, my grandparents were already in their late 70s, I think. Yeah, late 70s taking care of young kids, and it's a real freaking miracle that they, like, didn't have any health problems. I mean, my grandpa used a cane for, like, less than a year before he passed away, and my grandma didn't have any health problems really at all. I mean, she had undiagnosed Alzheimer's, but, um, other than that, just, like, physically, there was nothing really, like, wrong with her. Of course, slowing down because of age. I mean, that's normal. So that is reason number 4. And then the last thing is I value my freedom. I have talked with a number of therapists in my time. The most recent therapist I had made me realize that I really do value the freedom. I value being able to do what I want when I want. Work changes this slightly. I'm willing to give that up for work reasons, but um, definitely not for a child, and obviously a child would definitely hinder that. So those are really my top 5 reasons. I know it's crazy, you guys, if you're 20 something and everybody from your high school is getting pregnant and getting married, it's okay. You do not have to go down that route whatsoever. Um, it's your life, your decisions. Do with it what you please, and just, like, be a good human while you're at it. Everyone has their own reasons why they don't want kids, or maybe why they're putting off having kids, or whatever. It's really nobody's business to tell you what you should do with your life. And yeah, just let everybody live and whatnot. And I know I've sounded judgmental in the past with, my own classmates having kids, but it's just because I literally cannot understand why you want kids this young. Like I said, I'm 24, so I people really started having kids from my high school class when they were like 20, 21-ish. That's really when it kicked off, maybe 22, but um I just never understood it, besides the reason that you want to be a young parent that can actually do stuff with your kids. Um So yeah. Anyways, live and let live, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit subscribe down below. And I post every single weekend. So I will see you all next weekend. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And I know temperatures up here are starting to warm up. I'm actually in like a short sleeve for the first time in a long time. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you soon. Bye.